What's up everybody, back again with another Gran Turismo 7 video, and this time we're going to be going over one of the biggest tuning mistakes that you might be making. So, I've covered in my previous videos how I like to run as low a front ride height as possible. There's a lot of aerodynamic and handling benefits to that, but I'm going to show you that there is such a thing as too low of a ride height. So we're in the R32 GTR here. You can see 85 millimeters is very low for front ride height. And it is too low actually, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So it may not be immediately obvious why this is, but I'll show you right here in this hairpin. So I'm coming up for the hairpin, braking where I normally do for an outlap, and the car just turns very, very slowly. Barely making the corner. And then once I'm out of the corner, it's okay. But for those low speed corners where you need a lot of turning angle, it's not good at all. And we'll do a quick time split comparison here. I'm going to cross the finish line and then pause so we can compare a time to a correct front ride height setting. So as you can see, my lap is only at 0.117 and my time at the bottom left is 29.800. So my time from starting to crossing the line is 29.683. So let's keep that in mind. Now we're going to exit, and now we're going to put the ride height back up to a more reasonable value. I found 100 to be pretty good for a minimum on this car, just to prevent this issue from happening. So now we're going to take the hairpin again with the corrected front ride height. And as you can see, the car is much more willing to turn and behaves much more normally, behaves as you would expect. So now let's just cross the line and see what kind of time we get now. So remember, our time before was a 29.6. Now we're down to a 28.1. That issue cost me 1.5 seconds in just the hairpin. Granted, that it's kind of varying in its severity, how it affects you, but you can see how detrimental having a bad front ride height setting is. So why is this the case? Why does this happen? I will demonstrate this with a very crude test. So we're going to go into cockpit view. I normally run a chase cam on controller, but so look at my steering wheel here. I'm going lock to lock on the controller. I'm going to put my foot on the brake. And you can see I'm able to freely turn the car side to side, no problem. Going lock to lock, no issues there. Same thing when I'm rolling. You can see I can turn the car fully, no problems. So that's all fine and dandy. Now, let's back out and put the minimum front ride height setting back on. I'll come to a stop again. I'm going to go lock to lock on the steering again. Look at my steering wheel. I can barely turn it. It won't go lock to lock. It'll only go so much to either side. It's a lot less steering angle than with a correct ride height. So this obviously stood out to me very much. I'm not getting the steering that I would expect. So of course I went to investigate it. And once you watch the replay, it is very obvious what's going on. So we'll go to the replay. It's a little bit far away in this camera, unfortunately, but it's pretty obvious when you look at it. When you see me turning lock to lock, my wheels are barely moving. You can see they're barely turning at all. And the reason for this is that the front ride height is so low, you're actually rubbing the wheels on the wheel liners under the fenders. There's so little ride height that you're actually making contact with the body of the car with your wheels, and it's preventing the car from turning. So what you need to do is you need to find a ride height setting to where this doesn't happen. And in many cars, front ride height down to the minimum might actually not work because you'll run into this issue. One of my friends was running my Celica, and he experienced a tiny bit of this. So it may vary a bit, the exact number may vary a bit, depending on how you drive. But I would say it's good practice to have a little bit of clearance on the front just to make sure you don't run into this issue. And probably on all my setups going forward, I will be doing this. So that's all I wanted to share for this. I thought it was very informative for me once I found this out. It was kind of like a light bulb clicking on. I was very happy, but also annoyed to discover this was my problem the entire time. But I hope this helps save you all some frustration if you've been trying to lower your ride height. So that's all I have for this one. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.